pure silence. But that silence is having awareness. That silence is vibrant. That silence is soundless sound. That is how we call it. Soundless sound because these ears cannot pick it. Once the ears cannot pick it, we say it is soundless. But it is sound because it is vibrant. So sometimes we are vibrating the sounds which are just part of this physical situation, and we think we are praying. It's ineffective. Yes, beloved brothers and sisters, on the topic of sound and music, sound, everything in existence is in vibration, finer movements. On the external side, our senses are not able to tell that things are in vibration. It is deceptive. Things you look at which appear to be solid, inside them vibration is going on constantly, like that. But the eyes deceive you, and you think the thing is just there. Now, spirit is vibrating at the absolute rate. And for that matter, all other vibrations are streamed from there, from that source. The different vibrations can be experienced in different ways. The original frequency of vibrations which came from spirit forms what we call primary sound. Primary sound, original sound. Yes. Sometimes you see a creature like the bee. It may be picking some nectar from a flower, and it will stay at the same place, but the wings will be vibrating like this. It stays at one position, but it will be having the wings vibrating. Yes, spirit is eternally what it is. It's not actually moving. When we say God is just at one spot, but the vibration makes that presence alive. That indicates that it is alive. It is awake. It is aware. The vibrations indicate there is awareness. Now, the quality of being able to slow down or speed up the vibrations is what has brought about all these manifestations. So in the original state, it is potential. It is absolute vibration. But when it starts to slow down a small portion, then that looks separate. It differs. And it becomes just like the ocean. You see the waves. The waves from the ocean, they are in different states than the very body or middle of the ocean. The middle of the ocean stays peaceful, even though it is in constant vibration inside, but it's unseen. So what we call God is stable, but actually inside is absolute vibration. And that is going on constantly, eternally. But just like the waves from the ocean, the waves coming from the ocean to the shore, they have slightly different frequency or wavelength than, or vibrations than the middle of the ocean. It's a change, a slight change, and that brings about a separation. It separates out and it comes to the land. But it doesn't belong this way, it has to finally go back. So what comes from the spirit, which is a slightly different frequency of vibration, original one that comes like that, we call it primal sound or primary sound, original sound. In fact, we don't hear that one with these ears, physical ears. When that one reduces further and further, then all this manifest world is formed. So it's formed from this sound frequencies. And for that matter, the story of God saying, let there be this, let there be that, what it means is that God in that state, the frequency that comes, the vibration that comes from there is sound. And that sound goes on and reduces in frequency, and the forms that we have as this universe, physical universe, they result from that. So the original sound from God means original vibrations. So we humans, we have the absolute frequency of vibration which is from God, direct. But we associate with the lower frequencies. And in this way, we come to the point where we have desires to continue manifesting more things. Out of this desire, we become selective. There are certain things, because we want to enjoy them, then we select. So certain frequencies we target, and because of that, we develop senses to connect those things. That is why we have the sense of hearing, so that we connect the frequencies which we interpret as sound. Then there are those things we have the eyes to connect, and we call them, we say that is objects, sight, things we see. See? So in this way, we are able to tell what is sound from the sense of hearing. But the original sound cannot be heard by these ears. That is the sound which brought about the whole creation, but you can't hear it with these physical ears. The ears were formed. You see, when you have desire, then forms result out of desire. So we desire to enjoy these manifestations of frequencies, different types. So we develop the sense of hearing so that we enjoy that frequency. And it is in the form of music or harmonious sound. That is why we had the ears. Then that of light, it is also frequency like that. And we desire to enjoy all these things. So we have to be given eyes so that we develop eyes so that we can see the beauty coming from these frequencies. All the other things, senses, they are like that, just for different frequencies, so that we can experience them and enjoy them, because it is our desire to enjoy. Beloved brothers and sisters, at this point, the journey back to spirit can be done through sound, because sound vibration came from the source, and all this creation has come about through the sound frequency. In this way, we can return also through the sound, but we need to go beyond the physical sound, the external sound, and go in deeper and deeper to catch the sound as it came from the original source, the original sound. Through what we call meditation, one can go deeper and deeper and catch that sound. Once you catch it, then it leads you home. It leads you to really become self-realized. The external sound can also be utilized to take us inwards, because ultimately all the sounds originated from the original sound, the original frequency. So sound on the external side has two aspects. One aspect is actually getting us more involved in the creative process. And one aspect is helping us to withdraw from the creative process into the spirit experience. So when we are absorbed in the world, there is a type of music or sound that gets us obsessed with the world. And there is the type which is also taking us, liberating us out of the world. Those who are quite evolved spiritually become musicians. So becoming a musician is not an ordinary thing, because the soul evolves until you get to a point where you are sensitive to the frequency of sound, and it's leading you towards the original sound, which came from spirit. But most musicians who are not aware of this, they turn it into the kind of music which takes one more into confinement in the world, entanglement in the world. Some music actually disrupts one's inner. There is some music, if it goes on, it irritates the one hearing. It makes people more nervous. It agitates people's minds. See? But there is also the kind of music that does the opposite. It takes you out of stress, it takes you out of agitations, and it helps to balance the hormones, the emotions, it calms the emotions, and the lower mind, which is obsessed with this world, will calm down. In fact, it is almost like a hypnotic thing. It can actually make one very relaxed. There is the type of music. And once it does like that, it permits you to initiate a move towards the original sound, which cannot be heard with these ears. So, music, if we can pick the right type of music, it can lead you to meditative states. It can actually help you in the journey to the source, back to spiritual realization. It brings about awakening. So most musicians of this age, very few know this truth. Many of them, they have the kind of music that puts people more into worldly consciousness. Very few are there who pick the kind of music that awakens people spiritually. It helps them towards self-realization. And we who are hearing the music, we should watch out for the kind of music that makes us more relaxed, more peaceful, and it leads inwards to the spirit. Yes. The spirit, that frequency, that vibration, we can say it is pure silence. But that silence is having awareness. That silence is vibrant. That silence is soundless sound. That is how we call it. Soundless sound because these ears cannot pick it. Once the ears cannot pick it, we say it is soundless. But it is sound because it is vibrant. So we go beyond this physical body with its senses before we can pick the original sound. And it is very elevated state before one can pick the original sound. And that original sound, if we pick it, from it can flow language, words which are really, really powerful. In fact, all the great healing powers of the elevated ones is coming from the soundless sound. When someone will say to the storm, go down, and the storm goes down, it is because the sound proceeding from him is actually coming from the soundless sound. That is from spirit. And that sound is different from the other sounds that people make. So if you make the sound like go down, storm, you tell the storm to go down. If it doesn't happen, it means the sound you made is not from source. It is the external sound that you made, and that cannot have effect. So we need to connect with the soundless sound within us. we connect to the spirit. In fact, spirit is stillness. Spirit is silent, yet it is full of vibrations. And that is so subtle that physical ears cannot pick. No way. Yet one can dig deep, connect it, and when it flows from there, that is where the miracles take place. When the sound is released from the soundless sound, from the Great Spirit, then it carries out what comes out. It has to happen. So we need to understand how powerful sound is if we go deeper to connect with sound beyond the sounds of, for the ears to hear. When it flows from inside, it comes out, it can be heard, but it originated from deeper, and therefore it affects even the hearers. Whoever hears is affected. See, and it is this that if we understand, it changes the topic of prayer. So sometimes we are vibrating the sounds which are just part of this physical situation, and we think we are praying. It's ineffective. It can only be effective when we connect with the soundless sound from deep within. That's why I'm always talking about being able to go within and let the Spirit hear what you are saying. Let the Spirit notice what you are thinking. Let the Spirit be aware of what your intentions are. So from there, then vibrations from the Spirit, the soundless sound, will come out and vibrate through your body. If the soundless sound vibrates through your body, it's impossible for you to be sick. Impossible. Yes. If this sound is sent out around you, all that hear it don't remain the same. They are affected. And this should be our, we should yearn, we should be determined to let that sound frequency dominate our field of experience, and it makes a different world for us. And, if each person is having it this way, when we come together, that is the church, that is the temple, that is the mosque. See, people vibrating at the original soundless sound state. And that is the Christ consciousness. Become conscious of the Spirit. But if we are only expressing the external sound here and there, we continue to pass through suffering. Humans suffer only because of this. They disconnect the soundless sound and produce the kind of sounds which are ineffective. They are temporal sounds, but the original sound is from source which is eternal and very, very powerful and full of peace, very peaceful frequency. And it is full of love because it expresses itself, and whatever it touches, it makes that thing also vibrate with peace and love and joy Yes. When we are babies, we are children, that vibration of the soundless sound is all over us. But when we are growing up, then we develop these ears for the external. It has been there, so we change over from the internal sound to the external, and we lose touch with the soundless sound. So that is why it is said, unless you become like children, you cannot go to the kingdom. Kingdom means what? Kingdom means the realm where the soundless sound dominates. So if it dominates whilst we are here, we are in the kingdom. Thank you, beloved.